Welcome to my 18-month, 20,000-mile review of this Toyota Tundra. I upgraded to this from a 5th Gen 4Runner so I can tow our 25-foot toy hauler. This is a 2023 Limited with 4-wheel drive and the rear air suspension. That's about it. Few extra gizmos and gadgets like the 360 camera, etc. I use this truck much like any other weekend warrior out there, towing our toy hauler, which weighs between 5,000 and 7,000 pounds, depending on which toys I have loaded, hauling our ATV or dirt bike in the bed to local trails or to hare scramble races across Virginia, and of course, the occasional dump runs and Home Depot trips. I'm still thrilled with the power and torque this non-hybrid twin-turbo V6 makes. It's such a pleasant towing experience with all that torque down low in the rev range. I also still very much like the 10-speed transmission. It makes having the 331 rear end very doable. But I spoke at length about the engine and the transmission in previous videos, so that's all I'll say for now. I simply couldn't be happier with the drivetrain experience thus far. Hopefully it holds up well for many years. I have not and will not be off-roading this truck nearly as hard as I have my previous 4Runner. I ran that thing ragged and had a blast doing it. I bought this truck to tow and haul over long distances with very little off-roading planned outside of gravel roads, fields, and pastures where we race dirt bikes. But this is still a very capable truck, even in this basic 4x4 package, though I don't have any skid plates, so I need to be careful out here. It does come with an auto-limited slip differential in the rear, it basically uses the brakes to stop the spinning wheel and to send torque across the axle to the wheel with traction. It's a super common system on almost all modern 4x4s and all-wheel drives. I ended up unexpectedly using it a few times in two-wheel drive, and it engages pretty smoothly and quickly. All this, combined with these Cooper all-terrains I've added, make for a pretty sure-footed half-ton truck. Call me crazy, but I actually appreciate a quiet engine and exhaust. Don't get me wrong, I like a loud exhaust note here and there. My 300cc two-stroke dirt bike is a screaming eagle like no other. But for a daily driver and a long-haul cruiser and tow vehicle, I really like how quiet the cabin is and the truck is overall. Keep in mind, I did turn off the fake engine noise, which was pumped through the speakers. You only hear that on the interior, though. Additionally, there's very minor, tire and wind noise when cruising on the highway. It just makes for a really pleasant ride, and I personally prefer it that way. I think it's very impressive that Toyota increased the combined fuel economy up 35% over the last Tundra, while also increasing horsepower a little bit and torque a lot. In the real world commuting, which is a good mix for me, I'm getting between about 17.5 to 20 mpgs. Like all the other gas vehicles, it does better during the summer months than the winter months. On the highway, I routinely get 20 plus, and I've even gotten a best of about 24 on a long trip. The trick is not going too fast. Anything over about 70 miles per hour on the highway and the MPGs start to drop drastically down to realistic numbers of about 18 to 21. 70 and below, you can do 20 plus no problem. The one and only issue I've had with this truck is the false reading of the fuel levels, or the quote fuel gauge issue. Do a quick Google search of that for the Tundras. I made a quick video about this, and it literally has only happened that one time so far. The fuel level sensors can read wrong, showing you have more gas than you actually do. It's an easy reset you can do yourself in a few seconds, but it's annoying. Again, just the one time for me. So my experience using low range in the Tundra is pretty limited. I off-roaded the ever-living snot out of my 5th Gen 4Runner, and I had that vehicle in 4 low quite a bit. I've also off-roaded my brother's old Jeep Wrangler JK in 4 low a decent amount. Both of these vehicles' low ranges worked very well. They were very smooth, and I did not notice anything odd with them. With this Tundra, it seems like the gearing in low range is kind of aggressive. Or maybe it's just me. It just took me a minute to really get used to using low range in this Tundra, kind of compared to those other vehicles. So just something to note. Maybe the TRD Pros and stuff are a little bit different. I don't know. Maybe the hybrid's a little bit smoother. I don't know. But it's not a bad experience in 4-wheel drive low. I guess the only point I'm making is that it's just a little bit different, and it took me a little while to get used to. If you're coming from the 4Runner or the Jeep community, something to know. As I stated earlier, I've had this truck for about 18 months, and I have a little over 20,000 miles on it. Several thousand of that is towing and hauling something. and I've had zero issues with fit and finish, both inside and out. Everything works as it should, including the infotainment and all the electronics. Similarly, the wear and tear isn't even noticeable at this point. As with any brand new truck, there are a few recalls and TSBs for some minor things. If you Google it, the previous second gen Tundra with the 5.7 was absolutely riddled with problems the first few years. But over time, they got it to be very reliable and they corrected all those things. I fully anticipate they're going to do that with this Tundra as well. For the most part, the recalls and the TSBs have been pretty minor. I honestly don't even want to do any of the TSBs, which I haven't done yet, but I guess I'll do when I take it in to go get my second key fob. I've just been delaying that. It's been ready for a while. But that's all I've got for now. Thanks for watching.